Hey everyone, it's Valerie from Stampin' with Valerie, and we are going to be doing a really fun One Card Wonder Wednesday tonight. Now, let me see. I've got to pull up on my computer so I can share it, but we are going to be using the Snowman Season Stamp Set and Perfectly Plaid. Now, we're not using everything in these sets. We're going to be using this cute little tree and, of course, the little snowman. And I'm out of breath because I just came back from grabbing my computer real quick so I could share this, because otherwise my iPad doesn't let me share it with my groups, and I want everyone to see this because it's really going to be a fun one. All right, I am done shared. So we're gonna, like I said, we're going to use this little tree, the snowman, and we're going to use Merry Christmas. Now you can use any of the sentiments that you want. That's just the one I chose. Let me show you the card. Isn't this adorable? And of course it is a fun fold. So when it's standing up, you have this part that's a little bit taller. You've got the little folds in the front. And so going through the cuts and measurements for this is going to be the longest part of this entire video. So bear with me while I do that. If you want to make one of these, you are probably going to have to watch this more than once, and then I'm also going to put a template when I post my blog post, which will not be tonight because I haven't had a chance to work on that yet, but it will be sometime this week. I'll have that blog post up with all the measurements and a little diagram to show you these cuts. All right, so let me pull it up on my iPad here so I can see what is happening, so I know that I'm showing you everything that I want you to see. Okay, so the first thing you're going to start out with is a 4 1/4 by 11 inch piece of cardstock, okay? I'm going to set this card aside for just a minute because I need to make room for my cutter. So hi Anne, hi Kelly, how are you? Thank you both for joining. I want to make sure you can see the top here because we're going to be doing some scoring and then we're going to be doing some cutting, but first we're going to score. So I am going to take my cutting blade off because if I do not, I will not be able to do this. Hi Ingrid, I saw you asked about team meeting. I can't believe I forgot to mark that. I'm not doing team meeting tonight because everything's crazy. So just so you know, I'm not doing a team meeting tonight. I'm going to do it next week on Thursday because of on stage this week. So anyway, so you're going to put your first score at 6.5, and hopefully I'm not yelling at you all because I'm closer to my phone right now. And then you want to turn it around because you want to leave this part over here. You don't want to score anything on this part. So what you want to do is start at your farthest end, and you can see we have the 1 inch mark on this side. You're going to move your paper right to that 1 inch mark, and you're going to score all the way across. Now here's where it gets a little weird and you're going to look at me like I'm crazy. We're going to flip it back this way. I know I don't want the 1 inch, but go to the 2 inch mark, and you have to flip just because you need to make this first mark before you can make a mark on the other side. I'll show you in just a second. So you only want to go in about 1 inch. So just in your mind as you're doing it, just go in what you think is 1 inch. I don't know which way is easier for you all to see that score mark. Then lay this back down, and you know you have your score line right there. Put it right back lined up with the track, and you know you're going at the same distance in. So basically we have a 1 inch and we have a 2 inch, but we're only a little bit in on each side there. You're not fully all the way in, if that makes sense. Then you're going to do the same thing at this end. You're going to go in about 1 inch with 2 score lines here. So just line up that first 6.5 inch score line that you did. Then maybe that'll help if I fold it, with the 1 inch mark. So just take it right here and just line it up. And you know this line right here is also that 1 inch mark. And just go in about 1 inch. Flip it around. line your new score line up that you just did and go in about 1 inch. Like I said, this is kind of a weird one to score. So now flip it back around this way. And we want to go back over to that 1 inch mark. The 1 inch mark is really important on this one. And we are going to start, make sure I get that on there. We are going to start right at that first score mark that we did. Now, I'm going to pull the blade up just so you can see. On our blades, there are little lines so you know where you're starting. That comes in really handy when we do the cutting and this last piece of scoring. It's super handy because you're going to line that line up with where your score line is. That tells you that's where that score blade starts. So just go down to this first 1 inch score mark that you did. And then move it over. Now you're at the 1 inch on this side. I know it's hard. It's kind of crazy, but once you do it a couple times, it's like, oh, it's so much easier than I thought it was. Why didn't I think it was that easy before? All right, and go. I went all the way down. I didn't want to, but that's okay. We're going to cover that with paper. See, I accidentally went to the end and I didn't want to go all the way to the end, but that's okay. So now we're going to cut. So I'm going to take the scoring blade off, put the cutting blade back on. And this is why I don't leave the cutting blade on there, because I would end up cutting something I'm not supposed to, and I don't want to do that. So now what we're going to do is we are going to go back through what we just scored, this line here and this line here, and we are going to cut that line. So again, this is where I have to be a little more careful than I was with my scoring. So make sure I'm at the 1 inch mark on this side. Make sure my blade lines up with that line, and then just push in because you know you're right on that line now. And just go slow. Make sure you line up your blade at that end where that last 1 inch score mark is. And you can see that's what I cut, was just that whole little section. And we're going to do the same on this side. So let me line it up with the 1 inch mark. I'm going to bring this back down. Line that up before I put my blade down. And then line it up again with that line. Not too bad. I did pretty good on that. Again, it's something you have to watch a couple of times. And like I said, I'll give you a little diagram in my blog post as well. So now here comes the folding. First thing is fold that back piece in. And you're looking at this and you're like, that's not right. There's totally not right, but I promise you it is. Then take your front piece, fold that in. So now both of those are going to touch. Okay. Unfold it. And what you have to do with these here is you are going to, ladies and gentlemen, Valerie scored it wrong. I wasn't supposed to score here. I was just supposed to score right here in the center. So let me just fold that the best I can right there. I didn't need that score line on that 1 inch mark, so I'm going to probably have to do a video again showing you how to do the score marks. Not right now, but maybe I'll do one for my blog post so it's separate so you can see how to do that. Luckily, that is all going to be covered with paper, so no one's going to know I accidentally scored that where I wasn't supposed to. Okay, so everywhere that it's bent is where I was supposed to score it. Where it's not bent, right here, I was not supposed to score it. See, I told you, it's a difficult one to do, but you get better each time you do it. All right, so you have your little card base. I'm gonna set that little card right there next to it so you can see it. And then we will cut some of the Plain with Patterns Designer Series paper. I thought this would be fun to make a cute little whimsical holiday card with this polka dotted paper. So we are going to cut a piece of paper, and it is going to be 4 3/8 inches wide. I gotta pull my paper over here just to make sure I'm saying that right. Yes, 4 3/8 inches. So let's do 4 and then move over to 3/8. Cut that off. And then my first measurement is going to be for this centerpiece. That is going to be 2 1/8. And I'm just going to lay that on there so you can see where that goes. 2 1/8. And then these other little pieces are only 7/8 of an inch wide. They're super skinny little pieces that fit in there. When I first looked at the measurements for this, I was like, there is no way this is going to work. Like, these measurements have got to be off. Sure enough, everything fits in there perfectly. So my brain is what's off, not the measurements. So first thing, we'll adhere these to the card and get them on there, and then we don't have to worry about it now. Easiest way to do it is just with some Tombow. Some good old-fashioned glue. Because then if you need to move it around a little bit, you can. And it's one of the least expensive adhesives to use. Is just plain old glue. And it's not going to make your, unless you put a ton of it on there, it's not going to make your paper wavy or anything like that. Now for these longer pieces, all you have to do when you're putting them in there, you don't even have to unfold your card. Just slide them in until it hits that bend in the paper where we folded it, and just lay them down. So basically it just hit where we folded it, and then you can just stick it down. I don't even know what this one fold is called. I just know it's super fancy and I like it. Got a little bit of glue on the end there where I left that. All right, so we have that. Now I already have a piece of paper for the front. Now after I did this, I thought to myself, I should have spun the edges of this Whisper White. Now this is 7/8 of an inch wide, another skinny piece, and it is 4 1/8 inches long, and I'm gonna sponge around it with some Coastal Cabana because that is the color we used for our base, and it just turns out really, really cute. Hi Lisa Marie, how are you? How was your class today? I hope it was fun. I hope you learned a lot, because I know you're gonna pass on all of your knowledge because you're good about that. And then for the sentiment, I stamped it in Night of Navy ink, and I just did that little Merry Christmas from the Snowman Season stamp set because I like it. It's long, it's perfect, it fits on here nice. And then I'm just going to do the same. I'm just going to use some Tombow to glue that down. Super easy, super fun. And I'm not sure why I wanted to do something a little bit different. I just wanted something that wasn't traditional today. So I'm like, this will be super cute. I haven't used Snowman Season in so long, since last year. It is one of our stamp sets that carried over from last year, and I haven't used it since then. So I thought this is the perfect opportunity to use that adorable little snowman again, because he just really is cute. So on our extra little piece of paper, we are going to stamp our snowman. And I'm going to stamp it over toward this side. And then I should probably punch him out first before I stamp the trees, since little arms are going to punch out. Now I didn't add any arms on the other snowman, but we could always add these little white arms onto our snowman. Onto this one. Let's just dump everything out. And then for our little trees, we're going to stamp one with Calypso Coral and one in Bermuda Bay. So we'll start with that Calypso Coral tree. I'll just put it on this side. Clean the stamp off because I don't want to mix my ink colors for sure, especially those two, because they really are way different from each other. It would be different if I was using Bermuda Bay and then went to Night of Navy. If I accidentally put Bermuda Bay on Night of Navy, it wouldn't really change my Night of Navy because Night of Navy is so dark and this is a blue, so you know. But putting orange and blue together might not work out as well, so we do not want to do that. And then just punch out both of your trees. Now you could do one tree if you want instead of two. I just thought two looked cute. It added a little something extra to the card, so why not? Now we're gonna do some more sponging. This card has a lot of sponging. Grab Coastal Cabana, we'll use that first. Is it Coastal Cabana? No, it's Bermuda Bay, but I'm using a Coastal Cabana thing here. So this one will have to be changed to Bermuda Bay because it's darker than Coastal Cabana. The name on it, I mean. So I just went around my whole little snowman just to give him a little bit of definition. And then I went around the tree too because I thought it just looked cute. If you had a little bit around the edges, it always adds something to it. And it's not really antiquing it because I'm not using like a brown or a black or gray or anything. It's just kind of adding some of that extra color back into it that you used to stamp with. And then we'll go ahead and do some Calypso Coral. And now I know this one is Calypso Coral because I just got this sponge out to label it because I didn't have one already that I had used. Because I keep them in a little, it's actually a jewelry, for jewelry crafts. You know, it's a little craft plastic case thing and they each have their own little pocket in there. And that way I can reuse them over and over and they don't touch each other and get their ink all over. All right, the next piece that we need is going to be for our snow. Because if you can see, I did my little snow on there. So this is 1.5 inches by 3 7/8. And all I did, now if you have a die and you want to use a die, you can. I didn't. I just used my scissors and cut some little snow hills in it. And then definitely use your paper trimmer again. You need one that is, let's start, I have to start it at this end or I'm not going to know what I'm doing. I'm going to do 1 7/8 of an inch because that's the same width of that polka dot paper on the side. We'll do 1 7/8. I don't know, I'm probably not all the way on there. Do 1 2 1/8. So there's 2 1/8. And then your last piece should be 7/8 of an inch. And then I'm just going to sponge around all of those too. I did, like I told you, this card, I did a lot of sponging. I normally don't do this much sponging, but this one needed it. So I went around the snow to give it a little dimension, a little border on there. I have a feeling I'm going to have ink on my fingers when I get done. I want to make sure I don't get it on the front of my snow here. Although I guess if I do, we could just cover it up with a little adhesive snowflake because I'm using those today. So is this a technique that you guys are familiar with or use a lot? Like I said, I don't use it a lot, but I know how to do it and it's a fun thing to do. So I'm trying to incorporate it a little bit more into everything. So grab your Tombow glue again. Oh, thanks Ingrid. I love them too. I thought I could just put, you know, them. I was originally just going to put them directly onto the polka dot paper, but then I was like, no, we kind of need some snow. Because obviously, for obvious reasons. Now for the little hills on the side, you're going to have to hold your card down while you stick your paper on there. Just so it stays in the same place, but leave a little bit at the top so you can grab a hold of it. You can see my piece is a little bit not as wide as it's supposed to be on that end, so I apparently cut my piece wrong to begin with. And then over here on the left. All right. Then go ahead and grab some dimensionals because that's going to be our next step, is getting our snowman on there and our trees, and then I'm going to show you how I made the cute little hat. Of course, I used the punch, which is obvious. I used the punch for the hat, unless I'm really good at just randomly cutting a snowman hat, which I'm not. So, all right, dimensionals, there they are. I'm like, I know they're here. So first thing I did with the trees is I just kind of layered them so the Calypso coral tree was just a little bit taller. And then on the back, just grab your dimensional and kind of stick the two of them together, because that'll hold them in together, and then also obviously hold them onto the card. Hi Sherry, you swiped the paper on the ink pad. Yes, I don't know how well it would work on these ink pads, Sherry. I haven't done that with these ones because they don't have that felt top on them. They have that spongy top on them, so they're a little bit different. I don't know if it would work well. I think you might get some splotches. So definitely try it on something you're not worried about, like to practice first. All right, so for my snowman, take one of those dimensionals and put about half of it off the top of his head, because that is going to connect your hat. That way you don't have to use another dimensional. You've already got that one on there. So just stick your snowman on here. Put your trees on there. And you can do them in either order. You could have done the Coastal Cabana one, you know, right next to if you want to. And this one, I think we're going to give him the arms. So I'm just going to put a couple of dots of glue on here, and we're going to give him some arms. They're just going to be white because that's what we have cut. We'll have one kind of going out to the side there because we got lots of room when we close the card. And we'll put that one. I just moved glue everywhere on there. Put that one that way. Why not? All right. So for the hat, just grab a piece of Night of Navy. Just punch out a hat. I didn't want it to fly everywhere. That's why I covered it when I was punching. I didn't want carrot nose flying all over the place at me. So you have your little hat, and I thought, you know, it needs something because the stamped hat has the holly and everything on it, but we're doing whimsical, so why not just cut a little strip of this polka dot paper that also comes in the Playing with Patterns Designer Series paper, and just glue it on the hat. Now, after you cut it, you have to kind of go back and figure out how long you really want it and snip it off, and then just put a little strip of glue on there and glue it on. Super easy. Obviously, minus the fun fold, I think this would be good for a little kids class. So maybe I'll have to incorporate that into my next kids class because it's adorable. And the snowman is cute. He needs his carrot nose colored, so I just use my Pumpkin Pie Dark Blend, color the nose in. Grab some ribbon, whatever ribbon you have that you want to use. I used this sheer Pool Party ribbon. Just put it around that centerpiece. And I just tied a knot in it. I didn't do a bow. You could do a bow if you want to, but I thought a knot was just perfect for this little card because he's got a lot going on anyway. So I didn't think it necessarily needed a bow. Oh my goodness. If I could get a hold of that piece after I put it through. Yes, I promise Valerie does know how to tie. She might not be doing it properly today, but she does know how to do it. All right. And then just trim the little ends off. Oh, thank you, Ingrid. These are my son bought me these for Christmas last year. They're from Walmart. They're the Pioneer Woman scissors. Aren't they cute? They're in the kitchen section, but they're adorable. I love them. They're super sharp. So I actually asked for one set, and I didn't care what floral design it had, but I wanted a new set for in the kitchen, and he bought me 2 sets. So I'm like, good, I have a crafting set and a kitchen set. Perfect. Okay, so for the Snowman Buttons, since we've got lots of Night of Navy on here, I thought I would use the blue adhesive back gems, and I used the iridescent ones because they look kind of like Night of Navy, and they actually might be Night of Navy. And you have to use 4 of them because obviously our snowman has 4 buttons. But I just used the smaller size. That adds a little bit of sparkle right there. Then our iridescent sequins, our adhesive back sequins, and I just used the Whisper White ones for this one. So I'll use just these plain clear iridescent ones for this one. And just put them wherever you want. You don't have to like space them evenly, or unless you're OCD and that's what you want to do, you can go ahead and do that, but you don't have to. All right. Oh, thank you, Diana. I love these little trees too. They're adorable and they're different colors and I just think they're fantastic. Now I put snowflakes actually on my little snow hills too, because when it snows, snowflakes end up on the snow hills and all that too. We can actually put a couple on the tree if we want. So they have a little, oh, that one getting away from me. Might not have any adhesive on the back. I might have grabbed one and took the adhesive off from it. Put that one on there. And then I didn't do it on this card, but let's put one at the beginning and end of Merry Christmas, because I think that would look cute. All right, and then to finish your card off, all you need to do is grab a piece of Whisper white paper, and it needs to be tall. Grab your adhesive that you want to use, and this fits perfectly on the inside of the card. So just open your card up, and this is your inside. You don't have as much space on the inside to write your little message on this card, but I don't think that matters, because if you make this for someone, they know how much you love them. So how cute is that? Adorable, right? Now, since I put those little snowflakes over there, I need to do it over here to make this one just as cute too. Add them on. And there you have it. There's your super adorable, whimsical card for today. I hope you all enjoyed this video. And again, I hope you enjoyed me messing up. But look, you can't even tell I messed up because we covered it with paper. So I will make a diagram for this, like I said, and put it in my video so you know where to score and where not to score. And I'll write it on there so you know. And just watch my video and practice again, because you just need to practice it to get it the way you want. Now again, we used Snowman Season and Perfectly Plaid for this card. So I thank you for joining me for One Card Wonder Wednesday. I hope I will see you again on Sunday for Sunday stamping, starting tomorrow, and then Thursday and Saturday I'm going to be doing On Stage Online. So I'm going to post when I can post little sneak peeks of things, so you guys can see some of the new stuff that is coming, hopefully, and maybe see some of the cards that we're making during our On Stage Online. So thank you for joining me. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. And if you need these supplies, make sure you head over to ValerieSmith.StampinUp.net, use my host code, and get yourself some of this good stuff to make these cards. Thanks for watching. Bye.